Firstly, thanks very much indeed for coming down today. Start with an Ashes test. I know you've probably got lots of things going on. My name is Peter Dagan from the Football Supporters Federation. I'm the National Council and I'm responsible for communications. On my right hand side is Dr. Malcolm Clarke. He's the FSF's chair. He's also the supporters representative on the FA Council. The format for today, basically, Malcolm's going to discuss the issues that we highlighted in our press release earlier in the week. And after that there's going to be an opportunity for question and answer, and once we finish all of that, if anybody wants to do some one-on-ones at the end, you're more than welcome to do it. So we'll start by Malcolm giving us a bit of a statement.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good morning everybody, and thank you for coming. I'll start with an apology. In certain circumstances we would have liked to have enabled colleagues from the media to talk directly to some of the supporters who were either involved in or witnessed this incident, but the legal advice is at this stage of the proceedings that would be something that we shouldn't do. So I will be reading some brief extracts on an anonymised basis from some of the statements that we've had from some supporters, but unfortunately it's not possible for you to have a direct interview with them at the moment. That's entirely on legal advice, and I appreciate that may be a little frustrating, but that's the situation that we're in. As you probably know, the background to this incident is that following a Sunderland friendly in Scotland, an announcement was made at the game that there would be a special additional train returning to Sunderland, and that was the train on which supporters should ideally travel, because it was going direct to Sunderland. It's worth saying that a number of supporters have told us that they were actually quite pleased with that, because they didn't want to land up at Newcastle Central Station round about the time that, or some time after the Newcastle game on the television had finished, and that it was obviously much more convenient to return directly to Sunderland. For whatever reason, the train did not go to Sunderland. We're told that it was the wrong type of train, a type of train that couldn't go through to Sunderland. I'm not a railway anorak, so I can't give you the detail of that, but obviously there is a question about why it was announced that a train was going to Sunderland and then it didn't, and obviously the type of train that it was should presumably have been apparent from the start. The police have subsequently said that they had intelligence that there was planned disorder between Newcastle supporters and Sunderland supporters. That may be true. We have no way of knowing the nature of that intelligence or its reliability, but I would make the obvious point that since the people on the train believed that they were going to Sunderland when they got on it, that if that disorder was arranged for Newcastle Central Station, that could only have been done through mobile trains while they were on the train. So there's a prima facie inconsistency there, or something that needs explaining. When the train arrived at Newcastle, there was a considerable period during which the supporters were not allowed to get off it, and that there may be questions about that, and they were confronted by a police presence of constables who had police dogs and batons available for use. There then followed a major incident which resulted in 3 supporters being hospitalised with serious injuries. There is no suggestion from anybody that these injuries were caused by any other way than either police batons to the head or police dog bites. nobody's made any suggestion that any other mechanism of causing these injuries occurred. It's worth just saying in passing that this is actually an extremely unusual situation, thankfully, in this country. We are used to dealing with certain situations abroad, particularly in Rome and previously in Belgium, where there were serious injuries to supporters caused by the use of police batons. Thankfully, it's an extremely rare occurrence in this country. The nature of the injuries is severe. At least one of the supporters required some form of reconstructive surgery, and at least 2 of them are continuing to receive medical attention, and I understand that one may have been readmitted to hospital. I say this because one of the statements that the Northumberland police made at an early stage of this was to say that the injuries were not believed to be serious. I don't believe that the police had any basis for making that statement, and I believe that it is clearly an incorrect statement. A common feature of the statements that we've been provided with by supporters is that quite a lot of supporters genuinely believed that one of those supporters was dying. There was somebody who was fitting on the ground, losing a large quantity of blood, and became unconscious. And we also know that some supporters have had to receive some subsequent counselling because of the degree of trauma that they experienced as a result of witnessing the situation. So that by any standards, what we have here is an extremely serious, as well as being an extremely unusual incident. It's an incident that there are markedly different accounts between those given by the police and those given by supporters who have contacted us. If I read a statement from the police statement, it says a section of around 40 fans set upon the officers and the dogs, kicking and punching them and causing injuries to the dogs. So the police position is that supporters made an unprovoked attack on unmuzzled police dogs and on police officers who were armed with batons. That is the police position. The views of the supporters is rather different. Many of them have said to us that part of the problem was caused by police officers at the back of the group of supporters pushing them forwards, and police officers at the front who had the batons and the police dogs pushing them backwards. There is also a view among many supporters that the particular incident that triggered this was the release. When I say release, I don't necessarily mean off a leash. There's some uncertainty about this, but certainly police dogs who were unmuzzled then starting to bite supporters.